Are the Tampa Bay Rays really that good? And how are the new rules affecting the game? Welcome to episode number 1 of Loud Outs, a Realism Sports Talk Network production. My name is Jared. Thank you so much for watching. Before I begin today, I'd like to thank Terrell for giving me the opportunity to have my own show under the umbrella of Realism Sports Talk. This is a little bit out of my comfort zone because I'm typically behind the camera instead of in front of it. Um, but this will give me a great opportunity to talk about the sport that I love and interact with passionate fans like yourselves. I'll typically have a new episode up every Sunday afternoon, but there might be some days like today where I don't get it up until later in the evening because my son plays travel ball and he might have some business to take care of like he did today. Him and his team, they won their gold medal bracket today. So, hey, let's talk about these now 14-2 Tampa Bay Rays. They won today. They actually won today against Toronto. They got off to an incredible 13-0 start to the season. The MLB was pumped about it, and without a question, they should be. They're putting out a great product, and 13-0 is just something super exciting for the league. It doesn't happen very often. But here's my question: is Tampa Bay really that good? The short answer is no. They went 13-0 against the Tigers, Nationals, A's, and Red Sox, all of which are sub 500 teams. All four of those teams combined to average a 322 win percentage. The Rays not only have the easiest strength of schedule thus far in this early MLB season, according to Power Ranking Guru, but they also have the fourth most difficult schedule overall for the entirety of the season. Let's not forget that the Yankees and the Blue Jays are also in the AL East division, and they're consistent contenders year in and year out. Both New York and Toronto are 10-6. That's only 4 games back as of right now. But if the Rays lose a few more series in the coming weeks, the Yankees, Blue Jays, and even the Orioles could be hot on their heels, if not ahead of them, going into the summer months. So, no matter how exciting and pretty it is right now, Tampa Bay has a lot of hurdles if they want to make it to the postseason. Moving on, whether you love them or you hate them, the new MLB rules are here for the 2023 season. I, for one, am a fan of the new rules. Banning the extreme shift brings small ball back to Major League Baseball, something I think is needed to bring back some excitement to the sport. I love a home run just as much as everybody else, but it was just turning into a home run or nothing as far as scoring was concerned. Having players stay in their general vicinity of their positions brings back strategically hitting a ball in a gap, which is typically taught to baseball players from the time that they start to learn the game. I'm absolutely 100% on board with the rule change banning the shift. The second one that I'd like to talk about is the pitch clock. This by far is the most controversial rule change to the 2023 season. Again, I'm a fan of this rule, but I can also see why people would not be for this rule. Um, I'll talk about why I like this rule first of all. Um, for me, a guy who typically watches games from home and not so much at the stadiums, I like to go out and see a few games every year, but with the schedule that I have and all kinds of things going on, it's hard to show up to a game every single weekend or anytime during the week. But watching baseball from home and the comfort of my own couch, or a lot of times I'm on the go and I'm watching it on my phone, I enjoy this year's baseball and not having to sit through an extra 27 minutes of batters unstrapping and then restrapping their batting gloves after every single pitch. Um, I'm excited that I don't have to watch a batter take an inside pitch and then walk across both batters' boxes and all the way back around the umpire and the catcher, all the way back to where he started, just to unstrap and restrap his batting gloves all over again. It's a huge waste of time. Um, Baseball requires a lot of thought, and I understand this, but it was getting to the point where it was ridiculous. Now, there's some special situations that arise, like a player from another team returning to a team that they spent a lot of time with during their career and getting a standing ovation. But as soon as he stands into the batter's box, he's greeted with a pitch clock violation. I feel like team management could get to the umpires pregame and say, hey, something like this might happen for this certain player. And the umpires can then be more understanding to the situation and maybe allow an extra 10, 15, 20 seconds of a standing ovation before, signaling to start the pitch clock again. There's 30 seconds in between each new batter. If there are no batters on or no base runners on base, then it is 18 seconds in between each pitch. If there is a runner on base, there is a 20-second pitch clock. Pickoff rules are you can throw over twice. You can throw over technically three times. You can throw over twice just for the fun of it or just to check on him. But the third time, you either have to get the batter out or the base runner is awarded the next base. But another negative that I see to the pitch clock rule that people are concerned with are concession and beer sales going down because there's less baseball to sit through during a live game and the game moves at a more rapid pace. And they feel that if they have to leave for the concession stands or the bathrooms, they may be standing there for a while and miss a good chunk of the game that is moving at a faster pace. Those are reasonable arguments against the pitch clock, but overall, for the sake of the game, I feel the pitch clock was needed. Players have been taking advantage of not having a rule in place to get back into batter's box in a reasonable amount of time. And honestly, it's gotten a little out of hand. Over the last 5 years, an average baseball game was taking about 3 hours and 7 minutes to complete. In this young 2023 MLB season, games are lasting an average of around 2 hours and 39 minutes. Honestly, I'd rather have 27 minutes shaved off of a game to watch batters lollygag for almost half an hour every game just so I can get some food from the concessions. The third rule I want to talk about are the bigger bases. The MLB increased the bag size from 15 inches square to 18 inches square for what they cited as safety measures. In return, we're seeing more stolen bases this season so far. In 2021 and 2022, the stolen base success rate was about 75%. And in this early season, 2023 season, that number is up to 81%. And I would say that brings excitement to the game. There's two players really taking advantage of the extra stolen bases this year. Nico Horner has 18 hits, 8 stolen bases, and 13 runs scored. Cedric Mullins of the Orioles has 12 hits, 8 stolen bases, and 9 runs. So stolen bases are equaling more runs, and there's something to be said about some of these teams that small ball is coming back to, stolen bases is coming back to, you might start to see teams like the Orioles uh, taking over their divisions. Finally, as this baseball week comes to a close, I want to talk about the power rankings. Power ranking guru has the Braves, Yankees, Rays, Dodgers, and Blue Jays sitting in the top 5 spots. Unfortunately for Mets fans like me, I have to agree. The Braves, Yankees, and Dodgers are all probably going to sit in the top 5 all season long. I don't see the Tampa Bay Rays staying in the top 5 or maybe not even the top 10 conversation all season long. The Blue Jays, on the other hand, I can see fluctuating between 5 and 10 throughout the season. Uh, the Brewers, Mets, Astros, Twins, and Guardians sit 6 through 10 as of right now. I honestly don't know that I trust the Brewers to stay in the top 10 of the power rankings all season long because, you know, the Cardinals are going to Cardinal just like they do every single year. The Cubs are always a threat in that division. Um, so I don't know that the Brewers have the firepower uh, to to really win anything anytime soon over there. I can understand the Mets sitting at number 6. That might even be super generous right now, just based on what we look like on paper. Uh, we have the potential being having the most expensive team in baseball right now, but we're also plagued with so much pitching injury. So I'll definitely be keeping on my eye on how they can overcome all this early season adversity. Um, the Astros, on the other hand, they're another team that will stay within the top 10. I'm sure they'll move their way up into the top 5 and sit there for a good part of the season. They've built a powerhouse team there in Houston, and I don't see them relinquishing their crown as a top 10, a top team in the American League anytime soon. The Twins and Guardians both have young teams that are hungry for wins, and I can see them moving in and out of the top 10 throughout the season. But I don't see them climbing the rankings any further than what they are right now. Maybe if either one of them goes on a 13 game win streak, maybe 10 game win streak, maybe. But I don't know that I see any of that happening. Um, some other teams not listed in the top 10 that I feel should be mentioned and that are threats to a lot of these teams on the power rankings right now are the White Sox. They've got a great young team, and I just don't see them staying outside the top 10 of the power rankings all year long. Um, the Padres, Mariners, and the Phillies, they'll eventually find a way to put their foot down and assert their dominance within their divisions. The Phillies finished third last year and went the furthest out of any NL East team. So they're always a threat no matter where they are in the power rankings or even in the standings in that case. Um, all of those teams have proven that they're contenders within their divisions and within the league. And I don't see any of that changing anytime soon. So that's going to do it for my first episode of Loud Outs. If you enjoyed yourself, hit the like button down below and make sure to leave me your thoughts in the comment sections. Thanks for watching, guys.